Good day everyone, and welcome to another Gothic Facts video. Let's talk about something new and yet unknown to the Gothic community. In this video, we're going to talk about a really amazing location which only a handful of people knew about, called the World of Demons. In contrast to the existence of the underground city of orcs and the abandoned mines, about which we do have quite a bit of evidence, the information somehow related to the demon world has remained hidden from us for many years since the release of the first game. Surely none of you would have thought that in the early stages of Gothic development, this was actually a planned part of World of Gothic, which the hero should have visited at least at the very end of the main story. It was a concept made in 1999, and now that the evidence of its existence is abundant, it's time to tie all the facts together to a normal and coherent story. We will try to trace the development stage that this level went through, look at some of the surviving references to it in the press materials, and along with this, we will also get acquainted with its numerous inhabitants presented in various variations along the way. But first, a brief backstory. The introduction of the concept of demons and the demonic world itself was planned as a game called Orpheus and was done in the earliest stage of development in 1996. Examining the pages of the early writings of Orpheus, in a document specifically called Orpheus B, we can find the first mentions of these creatures. In the fuller and later concept of Orpheus, from which only a few pages have survived, there was more information about the demon world and its inhabitants, but the full script with information about the demons unfortunately has not survived to this very day. In early 1997, during the transition from the Orpheus stage to the Phoenix stage, this information was fortunately reused and turned into something completely new, to which we will return later. Around the same time, the Piranha Bytes designed level structure of the demon world had already acquired its own place. As you can see, based on this structure, it is already clear that at the end of the game, the hero could, if not gain access to this location, running through magical tunnels, but we at least have a glimpse of what was going on in it. Thus, in 1997, the World of Demons was implemented in the main plot of the game as a visiting level for the hero. It remained that way until November 1999, when Piranha Bytes decided to seriously reconsider both the structure of the levels and the concept of the game story as a whole. Design of the demon world. Unfortunately, we could not find any visual concept and meshes of the demon world, as well as evidence of its parts integrated into other location, but based on the message of Tom Putsky on the website, we can be sure that some work on this level really was carried out. Here's what Tom wrote. This makes it clear that unfinished prototype of this level must have been presented in the early pre-alpha versions of Gothic all the way back to version 0.69. What did the developers at Piranha Bytes imagine for the World of Demons? We cannot say for sure, but we do have two assumptions of it. The first version is that they plan to realize it as a kind of a separate material world connected with the world of people through a system of magical tunnels on the type of moleholes. Such a level could characterize a typical representation of hell with the predominance of red, purple and black colors. According to this version, this world must have been located somewhere far away in another space not connected with the world of Morgrad. The second version looks more unusual and represents the concept of a parallel world or another dimension, located as a layer on top of the same world. According to this version, of course, it should also be connected to the world of people through magical tunnels and the demons themselves would be present in all locations of the world of Gothic 1, manifesting themselves only when the boundary between the matter of the two parallel dimensions would begin to weaken. Design of the inhabitants. Having finished with the general design history and basic concept of the demon world, it was time to look at the early concepts of the inhabitants. In 1999, when the concept of the demonic dimension was in full swing, Mike Hoge decided to ask an outside designer for additional help in designing the appearance of this type of creature. After he dedicated enough time, Vadim Pietrzynski submitted 5 early concepts of representatives of the demon world. All of them, for various reasons, were rejected by Mike, and Vadim himself had to design another iteration. In the end, after a second redesign, he presented Mike with his new version, and this time it had been approved. Based on that, Vadim modeled and animated the first in-game demon model, which lasted in the game's design until spring of 2000. At the beginning of that year, Piranha Bytes decided that due to their cartoonish design, most of the monsters that Vadim had modeled before would be better off if replaced by something new and more serious. Again, they remodeled it and replaced it with a new version. At the same time, they also introduced the models of the Demon Lord and the early version of the Sleeper, already developed by Alex Brueggemann with the help of Uwe Meyer, who drew new textures for them. This version of the demon, along with an additional version of the Demon Lord, reached the release in the same form. The concept of demons in the Phoenix Project. Time to go back to the demon concept presented in the main design document of the Phoenix concept, which was mentioned at the beginning of this video. This page you see is a document that captures all the extant information about the demons of the early development phase, so let's see what it says. There are 3 types of demons: the lowest servant, the highest demon, and the demon lord. The Sleeper also comes from the realm of demons, as he is kind of a demigod. There must be a total of 7 archdemons like Sleeper in the demon realm. Inferior demons use stupid attack tactics. They tend to attack whoever the mage is focusing. Higher demons use smart attack tactics. They can also talk to the mage. Demon lords, otherwise known as archdemons, cannot be controlled. They do what they want and can attack the mage at any given time. Demons can only see and hear, they have no sense of smell, can swim, they have no legs. At this point, the lower part of the body is dimmed, a smoke effect is underneath them. Demons have horns, they don't pick up anything or can't use objects. But they look like hamsters with clawed paws, with which they can attack their victims as well. Alternate design? Demons can be sort of overgrown humanoids, can have 2 heads, or look like chimeras, or etc. Demons fear nothing and attack anything that moves. They don't die, but are always exiled back to their dimension once they've lost all of their health points. An inferior demon never attacks a higher one. A summoned demon stays in the world as long as it has health points. He cannot be healed, and if a mage is distracted, getting attacked, while summoning, the demon still comes out, but it doesn't obey the mage anymore. When the caster dies, the demon instantly disappears. When the hero summons a demon in town, everyone inside attacks it. Inferior demons cannot regenerate. The moment the demon is summoned, problems may arise. For example, if the caster is disturbed when summoned, the demon will be uncontrollable. Demon caster magic, mixed spells. More powerful demons are available to them or a more powerful incarnation of the same demon. Demons can have illumination, obviously because of their supernatural appearance. Demons can have animated textures with mouths on their bodies, something like the dark god Shub-Niggurath. Demons can only be wounded by a certain type of weapon, possibly magical. It's possible that several other demons should also be exorcised along with the sleeper. They could be cool opponents in the Orc Temple, like the Super High Priest. Demons can also be disguised as mortals, that is, if they can transform. Demons can create portals to their own world, and the only one that can do this is the Demon Caster. When summoning a demon, it should give the impression of being ripped out of its own dimension, and if the hero later finds himself in one of the tunnels of the demonic world, he can also see how they can burst out from the other side. Conclusion. The information in this video should be enough to finally realize just how much different the early Gothic concept was from its final model after all. Not only the underground city of orcs and the abandoned mines, but also the location of the demon world had to be represented in the primary story concept of the game. Its structure, with magical tunnels connecting both the demon and human worlds, gives good food for thought and gives you the desire to try to visualize how this unique world has actually supposed to have looked like. Let's hope that in the remake of Gothic, the developers of Alchimia Interactive will be wise and take a closer look at these early concepts, developing a lot more interesting stories and locations that was presented in the dull and painful release version of 1.08k. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.